Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, how we're going to fix this bad boy together. Guys, the content that we're going to talk about right now is something so good that if you don't smile, you're going to be dead. Like, you got to be. Because Davey Hogg is now facing a challenge in his vice chairmanship because of DEI principles in the complaint. Talk about the head of the snake eating the tail of the snake and going around and around until it destroys itself. Oh, I'm here for this. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. Can't wait to hear what you guys think. And as a favor to me, guys, YouTube is doing this mysterious subscriber disappearing. So make sure you are not getting unsubscribed. You hit that subscribe button and you like the channel because honestly, some stuff's happening in the background that I have a strong suspicion is not a great thing. So make sure you do that. If you can do that, I would greatly appreciate it. And let's get into the glory over here on my X profile. Of course, you can follow me at Braden LOA. Let's dive in right here. How is this for a headline? Stolen election? DNC to review Vice Chair Davey Hogg's election victory amid race and gender discrimination allegation. Oh, really? Well, it turns out that, as we've been saying for the past several weeks on this story, if you poke the bear in the powers that be in the DNC, Davey, you're going to become hot bacon. Slaughterhouse is accepting applications for the hog. All right, let me dive into this, guys. Every second of this is delicious. The Democratic National Committee will consider a challenge to youth activist David Hogg's election as vice chair, following allegations that the February vote, quote, discriminated against 3 women of color candidates. Oh, let them eat themselves. Kaylin Free, a Native American activist and longtime Democratic Party operative, filed a complaint weeks after her loss to Hogg, arguing she lost a, quote, fatally flawed election that violated the DNC charter and discriminated against 3 women of color candidates and calling for 2 new vice chair elections. The DNC notified its members on Monday that it will meet virtually on May 12th to consider Free's challenge. So, on May 12th, we're going to talk about a challenge for Davey Hogg's DNC vice chairmanship from within the party because of DEI issues. Oh my God, get the popcorn. Let me finish up this article real quick. In her complaint, Free argued that by aggregating votes across ballots and failing to distinguish between gender categories in a meaningful way, the DNC's process violated its own charter and bylaws, undermining both fairness and gender diversity. So they're calling for 2 new chairmanship elections. At the same time, Davey Hogg has done this. Oh, we got so much more to talk about in this story. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor who made this possible because, quite honestly, without the sponsors, these channels don't exist. So, quick word from Aura, and then we're going to get into this. Today, I want to talk to you through our sponsor, Aura. Now, this is an identity theft solution, and I want to tell you an example that happened to me personally and my wife. Now, she bought gas like every one of us does on a daily basis and used her credit card. That number was skimmed and stolen, and we would not have known that some criminal shyster on the internet was using our individual number and money to buy incremental purchases at random places across the United States very subtly and sneakily. And that's where Aura comes in. There's a link in the description box below to get your free 2-week trial, but let me show you some of the benefits they're offering. They offer Data Broker Opt-out. It will help remove your personal information from data brokers, and Aura will make sure that they cannot sell your information to identity thieves. It's got identity theft protection and monitors your credit file and your social security number. There's financial fraud protection. You can get alerted in minutes when your credit file has been compromised. I'm not leaving my family and those that I love vulnerable to these types of thieves, so neither do you. Go to aura.com/Langley. There's a link in the description box below and start your free 2-week trial to get in front of these shysters, and that's enough time to figure out if there's something going on with your profile. Link right in the description. All right, so back to the catalog of just destruction. Now let's jump over to Semaphore. This is a Native American woman getting a chance to topple Hogg at the DNC. Now, a lot of the things that we just covered are in this one, but there's a few additional pieces that I've highlighted for you around Davey Hogg's trip to the slaughterhouse politically. A candidate who failed to win a Democratic National Committee leadership role is challenging her defeat, the first threat to DNC Vice Chair Davey Hogg since he vowed to keep backing some primary challenges to incumbents. You seeing how all of this is twisting together? Just so happens that Davey does his little, I'm going to oust all the Democrats from within the DNC. The DNC establishment comes out against him, calls him a contemptible little twerp. Shannon Watts on the gun control side, who arguably put him into the position, comes out against him, says they only spent 2% of their donations for political capital. I mean, guys, are you seeing all the different wolves just banging the table with knives and forks and aprons on? I mean, like, bros. Okay. In her complaint, she shared with Semaphore by a Democratic source, Free argued that she lost a fatally flawed election that violated the DNC and discriminated against 3 women of color candidates. So you can see the first article is coming from this, all right? That's enough of that one. I really want to dive into the Hill, though, because this is where it accelerates. So Davey Hogg has more than a dozen Democratic incumbents could be primaried. Look at this. Oh, my, get out of here. Good Lord. Democratic National Committee Vice Chair David Hogg said his organization, Leaders We Deserve, will focus on challenging more than a dozen Democratic incumbents in the next election cycle. So that's 2026. He said the group will focus on mobilizing a younger generation of leaders geared towards change amid new policies implemented under the Trump administration, and they've slated $20 million for the initiative. The organization will target Democrats in safe districts and will not aim to primary those in toss-up races. So, hold on, one more thing. Hogg emphasized the number is fluid and said that if they can't find a young person to run against one of these incumbents, they won't run somebody. All right. Here's the big fatal flaw in the background that they're not going to tell you. If they unseat incumbents and they have new people coming in, that puts those seats into play for the Republicans because the incumbency advantage is gone because they eroded it from their own side. That's why they won't hit the toss-up races. They'll only hit the safe ones. If they get rid of the incumbent safe seats, it opens up the fact that they may lose those safe seats. Hogg doesn't seem to understand this, but the DNC powers do. Look what they're doing. DNC Chair Ken Martin has warned against primarying fellow party members and encouraged Hogg and other officers to remain neutral on forthcoming elections. Quote, no DNC officer should ever attempt to influence the outcome of a primary election, Martin told the reporters. While certainly I understand what he's trying to do, as I've said to him, if you want to challenge incumbents, you're free to do that, just not as an officer of the DNC. Martin is now looking to change the DNC rules to prevent officials in the organization from becoming involved in Democratic primaries. They are changing the rules and shifting the sands under his feet because they don't like what he's doing. They've got everybody coming out against him. The establishment is coming out against him. The progressive versus establishment middle-of-the-road Democrats are clashing. And it's going to be incredible to watch because Hogg might be ousted because of this. Now, even DEI is at the DNC could force Davey Hogg out as vice chair is being covered by the Daily Wire. So this is becoming a national thing. Little Davey ain't looking too hot in the eyes of the Democrats, and he's probably going to get smoked. But that's what I've got for you guys. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And of course, I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.